Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Evans, roll call, please.
Mrs. Denny? Mrs. Ellis?
Here.
Mr. Hampton? Mrs. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Mancinelli? Here. Mr. Seashot? Mr. Tinsley? Here. Mr. Twizzler?
Here.
Mr. Arnold?
Here. 1.03 is the School Board Policy Administrative Regulation, first reading for adoption of Policy 259. We have a copy here in our folder. For anybody that's interested, that will be on the website.
You're not going to read it?
No. Not
It's not,
required to.
you're not going to read it?
I'm not. It's not required to. We've never read it. It's online if you'd like to read it.
It's not in the board meeting materials and it's not in the policies.
People want to know, sir. I'll move on. Yeah. 2.01 is the approval of minutes. Motion to approve the minutes of September 27th, 2023. Let us know.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. 2.02 is the invoice listing. Motion is to approve the invoice listing from September through October of 2023. Let us know.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.03 is Treasurer's Report. Ms. Ellis.
As of August 31st, 2023, Penn-Delco's balance was $57,905,061. During September 2023, local, state, and federal revenues totaled $8,193,752. Disbursements were issued in the amount of $6,841,541. As of September 30th, 2023, Penn-Delco's current balance is $59,257,272. The motion is to approve the Treasurer's Report for September 2023. So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 2.04 is the Budget Transfer Report. Motion is to approve the Budget Transfer Report for October 2023. Do I have this motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 3, Student Representatives. Report please.
Hello, let's get right into it. The Sun Valley Theater Department is having their annual Fall Cabaret tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It is a fun night where students in the theater department get to sing solos, duets, and even massive group numbers, where a wide variety of stage and film musicals in a setting we do not get anywhere else. It should be a great night, and the students are excited to show what they've been working on. This past season, a trend of volunteering and helping the community spread among some of the fall sports teams. For example, the boys soccer team spent a day making sandwiches and goodie bags for the Kensington Outreach Project. And the girls soccer team hosted a great clothing drive where they received many donations. Great work to all the students and parents that helped organize these events and for helping out the community. The National Honor Society is setting up for the big year ahead of them with major plans. With the induction approaching in the upcoming months, current members are hard at work planning fundraisers, community service projects, and other things that will hopefully improve the community. A quick shout out to Miss Mayali, who took the lead this year, as she is our brand new advisor, but is doing great work so far.
Thank you, Seamus. Firstly, I would like to congratulate all of our fall athletes for their hard work and dedication, making this year one of the best in athletics SB has seen in a while. Not only have there been amazing season records for every team, but there have also been some impressive school records. More specifically, our very own Seamus became the new holder of the SB Boys Soccer all-time save record. Congratulations. As well as SB Volleyball's Jenna Jones completing her 1,000th assist. With that, SB Volleyball made it to the 3A playoffs versus Winter Mercy. This past Saturday, our SB football team also attended the SB Marching Band and Color Guards expedition at Pencrest to show their support as they move into their competition season. On October 11th, Sun Valley hosted the new online PSAT for juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. The PSAT offers a sneak peek into what the real SAT will look like when our vanguards start to prepare for college applications. The new online version of the PSAT offers shorter test length time as well as fewer questions than the paper version, which I'm sure most of our students love. On October 21st, Sun Valley held the Sun Valley Craft Fair. The craft fair was filled with over 75 crafters along with a few food trucks out front. The craft fair was an amazing spot to go get some holiday shopping done as well as support some local businesses. I'm sure we all can't wait for it to return next October. Lastly, like Shane said, our National Honor Society stepped up this year with their volunteer work towards the Aston and Brookhaven Community Days. Students had the opportunity to sign up and volunteer for both community days and participate in the fun, as well as giving back to their communities. Thank you again.
Appreciate your thought.
Congratulations, Seamus.
All right, number 4 is DCIU report. Anything on the report? Number 5 is superintendent's report.
As I mentioned to the board, I want to particularly keep my presentation this month much more shorter than it typically has been. There's a couple items that, though, you do like me to highlight when I have the opportunities, particularly some things that have happened in the course of the last month. Was really pleased with the turnout at all the community days that we had, with the staff participation, with the teachers, the administrators. A couple of our school board members certainly were there at the Aston Day as well. Just really pleased with the feedback that we're getting there. We had lots of Penn-Delco proud photos. We had district tables with our Teachers Association, our support staff, our administrators, T-shirt prizes going out. We're just really pleased to always get the invite to participate in the Brookhaven Day, which is a fantastic event. The Aston Day, even though it was rescheduled, turned out to be a really outstanding event. And certainly in the month prior, we were happy to be a part of Parktown. It's always great when you're at those tables and you see the kids coming up and seeing their teachers and their staff there, giving up their time on Saturday to be a part of that. But we really appreciate the opportunities and we'll continue to be a presence at the community days. Love mentioning this because parents love the pictures, and a lot of us remember these type of events that we participated in when we were kids. Yes, we still do have Fire Prevention Week activities in our schools, and I want to particularly take a time publicly to thank Aston, Brookhaven, Parkside fire companies for their support and for the education for our elementary students. As we say, our students get ready for life at early ages, and anytime we can kind of stop the work in the classroom and let them come out and learn about some basic life skills that are essential to their safety, we're happy to do it. But most importantly, just wanted to call this out and let the board know that these events do still happen, and we really appreciate that community involvement that we have with our first responders. Great night that we had early this month with homecoming. Fantastic. The huge turnout that we had. We were really worried about whether or not the weather was going to hold out that night. Didn't scare people off. Great participation in the parade, great participation at the game, packed stands, wonderful students representing the king and queen. It was a great court. Continues to be a really great event for our towns and our district. Pep rally was a great success. Behavior of the Sun Valley students and their maturity, top-notch, superb at the dance and at the events. So we're now into our second year of full-day kindergarten, and it has been an absolute second month. Thank you. Second month. Wouldn't it be great? I have board members who say, "What do you say? How do I would have liked to have that for my second month." Thank you. Second month, and really it has exceeded our expectations. You know, the feedback that we're getting from parents, very highly satisfied families, the students, incredible integration into the daily activities. I talked to some of the recess aides who were kind of nervous, like how is this going to be with kids in the lunchroom a year earlier than normal, and they're just amazed at how quick the kids are just kind of sucking up the experience and being there for the full day. I think our teachers and our paraeducators in those classrooms have just been hitting home runs. Gosh, we could have used them last night, I guess, if you're going to hit home runs. But they have really been doing a stellar job. And we're very pleased that after years of not being able to offer full-day kindergarten, that we were able to make this happen. Well, not a lot of planning, you know, and I give credit to the schools and I give credit to the staff and everybody who were able to make this happen quickly so that we could implement it in time for this year. I want to point out to the board, you know, our partnerships with the Delaware County Intermediate Unit go beyond just the special programs and the work that we do with the technical schools. The DCIU has been giving school districts resources to help us with parents who are increasingly saying, I need help for my kid. I understand that, you know, 89% of a child's year, they're home with me, they're not in school. So can you give us links to help with some of the mental health needs that parents are saying that they're seeing with their kids? I just want to point out that you will now see the information that comes from the IU on a monthly basis posted to our web page. So for instance, we already just today received the information that we'll have posted for November. But they had information on mental health awareness for October. So all types of well-being resources that can be shared as part of a county-wide MPSS package of supports for well-being of students. We will pass that along with parents so that they have those resources to be able to go out and do some of the things that they need to do to give their kids the help that they need. Typically, the student reps to the board steal my thunder, and they did again tonight. Volleyball team, fantastic. But let's not forget the golf team as well. I mean, the golf team up there, we had 4 great guys, Carr, Romanello, Matthews, Messick, competed, made it into the Chessmont Championship. You heard about Seamus with his record, and also Jenna Jones, 1,000 career assists in volleyball. Just incredible athletes, great participation, and it's really been overall a fine fall season at the Valley in terms of student participation in activities, athletics, academics, and now the arts. So tomorrow night, cabaret will be held, and if you've been to this event, it's amazing that our students can pull together the show that they put together in just like a month and a half. And they will have a cabaret featuring performers from the Sun Valley Theater Group on the 26th, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And there are 2 competitions left for the band's performance of Ascend, which has really been spectacular. If you haven't been able out to see them perform, it is well worth the time. We are continuing to fine-tune logistics that we can bring an elementary breakfast program into our school district. Tentative launch right now is December 4th. And we still have to work through some logistics with Chartwell, our food service provider. There's some personnel considerations that we have to make sure that we're properly staffed. More information will be coming soon to elementary parents. But again, this is just another kind of value added that we're really pleased that we can bring to our school district. Opportunity for students to have breakfast at school if parents wish them to do so. So it's a nice way, again, to support our efforts of well-being of students. This was the month I typically will share with the board some updated metrics that are released from IDEX, and I'm happy to show you some of those as well. These are some trends. Board members certainly have seen this particular format for a number of years now. But as you will see with the new numbers, just taking a look at revenue trends, where are we in Penn-Delco? The blue line is Penn-Delco's trends. The green line would be the county average. And as you see, going all the way back to 2008, our revenue was closer to the county average than it is now in 2023, although the data is from 2022. And we expressed concern when Act 1 Index came out that the Act 1 Index in some ways would penalize districts with small budgets. And it would better support districts with large budgets. So a 4% tax increase on a $100 million budget is certainly going to be a different number than a 4% tax increase on a $60 million budget. So we have to be cognizant of the challenges that we have, that our per pupil revenue is falling a little bit further behind the county average and the per pupil revenue that we have there. Broken down further as our revenue per student, I think back in 08, we were at the bottom. I'm really happy that we're continuing to move up now. And our revenue per student, though, still is $3,700 less than the county average revenue per student. So when we get inquiries, why do you have to raise taxes? this is the point. If we're going to remain competitive, we should at least have revenue that matches the county average that's not lower than what we have at the moment. So in terms of our expenditures, you can't obviously spend more money than you're bringing in, so that trend line will look very similar. You'll see back the peak that we had there was when we had a lot of the construction work that had to be done, and that impacted that per pupil number. But as you see, the difference in what districts are spending per student versus what we can spend per student is significant. It's about $3,600 difference. So imagine if every kid walked through one of our school doors the first day in September and said, here's a check for $3,500, here's another $3,500, here's another $3,500. All that would bring us to parity at the county level. It would certainly give us the ability to do more and provide more. And it's important to keep that in mind when we have to develop our budget in the spring and make sure that we are supporting our community, supporting our schools, and supporting our students as best as we properly can. And I think this points out really the exceptional job that the business office does and that the administrators do in making sure that everybody receives what they need to receive with a very limited amount of money. Here it is per student. Again, we were at the bottom. Really pleased that we are moving along the lines to show that we're paying the money that we need to pay to make sure that our students have the experience that they need to have. Market value personal income ratio has not changed as long as we've been doing this. Penn-Delco's aid ratio, this kind of measure of community and school district wealth, always places us right in the middle of Delaware County. So for the 15 years we've been showing this, there tends to be 7 school districts with a little more wealth, 7 school districts with a little less. Why does that matter? Well, there's a correlation between this data and academic achievement. And what we have found is that the districts that are considered to be the high wealth districts will typically have highest achievement. So we oftentimes will see that our school district scores fall into place where there are 7 districts higher and 7 districts lower, just very similar to the market value and personal income ratio that I show you here today. For instance, PSSA proficiency levels, right? Right in the middle. So, and it happens every single year. Doesn't matter who the superintendent is, who the teachers are, who the students are. The data always falls in line. Radnor Township at top. Radnor has the highest wealth factor. Where is that achievement? Right there. The districts that have the lowest wealth factor, same scenario. So you go down the line, Radnor, Rose Tree, Haverford, Marple, Garnet, and then us right in the middle. And that's where we are with our proficiency levels based on 2022 scores. Certainly impacted by opt-outs, but there are parent decisions that they can make. Keystone, if you look to the piece in the left, proficiency by district, same thing. Garnet Valley right next to us to the left, Upper Darby to the right, generally 7 on the left, 7 to the right. ACT scores, these are the information out as well, the ACT. We do recognize there's a trend where more colleges are becoming test optional, so we're seeing less participation in SAT, seeing a little bit of an uptick in ACT. Here's ACT scores, again, not at the top, not at the bottom, kind of right in the middle there. So we had Rose Tree, Marple, Penn-Delco, and then you have Springfield, Haverford, Ridley just below. So some of the data that came in for our board members, I'll give you fuller packets of information. We'll talk more at the work session where I'll be able to show you some of the other metric points that come through IDEX. But it's really helpful for us to see this and gives us a way to measure our performance against other school districts in the county. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Number 6, announcements for the public. Tonight, in accordance with Act 48, the board met in executive session to discuss personnel and litigation matters. Any comments by members of the board? So I would like to take the time to give a little clarity to recent policies, procedures that we have. Last week, as many of you who were here spoke to the board, I was not, I was out of town. The reason for an administrative regulation immediately was that can be put into place without a read on the agenda or a vote from the board. So as of last Tuesday, Monday, when did we put the regulation?
We've been, the regulation has been in practice since we had the opportunity to speak with our council. We could go on again.
So last Monday, that administrative regulation went into effect. Tonight, it is on the agenda as a first read. Since that went into effect, we do not have knowledge of any violations, and nor do we have any students that qualify to use bathrooms other than their biological gender.
There was a boy in the girls' bathroom this morning.
Okay, if we don't have knowledge of it, we can't address it.
Lisa, you know the conversation doesn't go that way. You're a former member. Come on.
So would you like pictures
I'm a
then
former
of
member.
these?
No, we would not like you to take pictures, but if
You
someone
know
would
where it
report
is.
it, we have cameras on the bathroom doors, and we can address it. But I can't, our administration cannot address something if they don't have knowledge of it. So that's but currently, under the current regulation and upcoming policy, we do not have anyone that qualifies to use a bathroom other than their biological gender.
Now, is it going to be posted online?
It will be, that's, in number 8, I'll go right to that. The draft policy will be posted online tomorrow. It'll be discussed at the next work session here that everybody can come and listen to and talk about. There are opportunities for changes in it. That's why there's a first reading and a final. We put the regulation in place because it can be done immediately.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
We have everyone that is interested in us moving as fast as we can, and we can't just approve a board policy overnight. There's, you know.
I just wanted to make sure we were able to.
That's correct. It will be, the board was given a policy. It's very similar to the regulation. It's in place now.
But that's not online. Like, I can't see that.
That's correct. It's down now because we've turned it into a policy, and the policy will be posted tomorrow.
Do you have copies for us tonight?
I don't believe we do.
Anybody notify all the parents about this?
I didn't bring additional copies. The board,
Can we get some?
our typical process would be that the board has copies of first read documents. Also posted online, checking to see if our administrative assistant has posted that online. It certainly will be there tomorrow.
Because.
Number 9, comments by members of the public.
Doesn't mean they do.
Listed 15 minutes, 3 minutes per person at the beginning of the meeting.
Good evening. My name is Ava Jackson. I'm a resident of Aston and a freshman at Sun Valley High School. I'm speaking with you tonight on my views as a student with key points of my district peers on the bathroom issues. The boys using the girls' bathroom is completely disrespectful and disregards my rights as a female. I have no hate in my heart for others representing themselves in ways others may view as not normal. Nor do I have any hate in my heart for people struggling to find themselves, even if what they find is against others' beliefs. What I do have anger in my heart for is the people who found themselves comfortable in their assigned sex at birth, being looked past because of this. I feel that if someone found what they consider their true self, that is great, but please do not put others in potential harm because of it. There are gender-neutral bathrooms. Transgender individuals should take advantage of the accommodations provided. Yes, they may feel that they know their gender and it is not the one that they were born with, but respect our safety and privacy in bathrooms and changing areas. If you were born a boy with male genitalia, you are wired to get aroused by women. Though your views change, that does not mean your body wiring changes with it. At any moment, those people who claim changes to their gender or sexuality may get aroused by someone of the opposite sex. When will you, the adults, making decisions on our education and safety, protect non-transgender students, which is the majority of the student body? My fear is that I may be taken advantage of by a male for his own sexual gratification in the girls' bathroom. How will you protect my physical safety? An 11th grade female survived sexual assault in her past. Men in the girls' bathroom is traumatic for her. How will you protect her mental safety? A 10th grade female is scared to use the bathroom in school. She looks under stalls to make sure she doesn't see anyone standing backwards. How will you protect her emotional safety? Another 10th grade female feels like being told that she can use the gender-neutral bathroom is a slap in the face and makes her feel like she's being discriminated against. How will you protect her right for safety? An 11th grade male feels for our female students because you are allowing grown men to enter a bathroom with 14-year-old women in it, and it also seems to be encouraged at this point. How will you protect his safety? Should female students have to depend on him and other male students to protect us? What will it take for our right to not only feel safe, but to be safe? And let's not forget our middle schoolers. A female student at Northley Middle School went to the bathroom and there was a boy in there making faces at himself in the mirror. He looked at her like she was in the wrong place. She left feeling like she had no place to go, cried in the corner of the hall for a few minutes, and then went back to class. A majority vote from our parents got you into those seats that you are so comfortable in right now to do a job. So listen to the majority of your students and do that. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jaden Hoffman. I'm a 10th grader at Sun Valley. Issues at Sun Valley have been growing, not only the fighting issues and the smoking issues. I'm talking about the comfort of the majority of students in Sun Valley. It needs to come to an end. These are private places where students expose themselves. This isn't a place where the opposite gender needs to be. Now, I've looked at their side, and their side is the same as ours. Sun Valley has resorted to adding gender-neutral bathrooms for those that identify as transgender and those who don't feel comfortable using the bathroom that they are assigned to at sex or at birth. Why is it mandatory that specific students have to use bathrooms? Why should they be optional? The answer is yes, that they should be mandatory, and no, they shouldn't be optional. It's unbelievable how Sun Valley can have conversations with the school and administrators to fix this issue and had to have a protest to try and fix it, so fix it.
Pretty sure by now you guys all know why we are here, while I'm here, and we're all here for the same reason. It's been a pretty eye-opening experience this past month, to say the least. Thank the Lord I love to read, because I've got a lot of reading to do. I've read what people have had to say about me and some of my friends here in this room, and I'd like to clarify real quick. I am not a bigot, I am not a homophobe, I am not a transphobe, I am not a racist, I am not a fear-mongering child hater. I am a mother, I'm a grandmom, and I'm a parent like the rest of us. I'm not just in this for my kids, I'm in this for yours too. The boys, the girls, the transgenders. They all have a right to have a place to feel safe. We want all of our babies to feel safe and included, but not at the expense of their safety. Over the past couple weeks, you have heard from the parents, and today, some of our kids, to the best of their ability, while dealing with the roadblocks that some of our administration put in front of our children, they got to speak their mind today. They got to have their voices heard, and I'm very proud of those children today. We have heard all of your excuses and your reasonings behind your guidelines that you're contemplating. But I'm here to tell you, sadly, they just don't hold water anymore. There are 7 states in this great union that have, there are 7 states in this great union of ours that protects transgender rights over that of our daughters and our sons. PA is not one of them. There are, however, 24 states in this union that have 0 laws on the books to protect transgenders or our children. By the way, Pennsylvania is one of them. So I guess we can remove the threat of a lawsuit off the table because you're not breaking any laws now. And please don't pull Title IX out on us, because as of right now, that is still in place to protect my daughter. Ladies in the ladies' room, boys in the boys' room, and use these single-use bathrooms for anyone who is uncomfortable, be it a boy or girl or a transgender. If you are uncomfortable, it is there for you. And we appreciate that effort, I really do. I asked last month of you to be the district to do the right thing, be the first, to do the right thing for our kids and for our daughters. Well, you missed the boat. Perkiomen Valley and Penn Ridge beat you to that. Crazy how they don't need to follow some made-up state law that you guys keep using. Maybe we here in Penn-Delco can be as radical as them. I mean, Delco is in our name, right? Delco's not just a place, it's a thing. We feel it, we take care of each other. So I'm asking at this point, let's start taking care of each other. All of them, the boys, the girls, the transgendered. Stop disrespecting each other, and let's find a way to do this. Let's find a way to make it better for all of our kids.
Good evening, Jackie Farrow, Valley Green Drive. Last month, a mother stood here asking for the board to be the first and to set a precedent that requires bathrooms to be separated based on biological sex rather than gender identity. But you no longer need to be the first. In fact, we have 3 different policies right here from other districts within Pennsylvania that you can examine to follow suit. These districts include Perkiomen, Penridge, and Red Lion. There has not been a single lawsuit brought against these policies thus far. Red Lion policy, titled Sex-Based Distinctions in Multi-User and Privacy Facilities. The following are selections from the policy. All students have access to multi-user locker rooms, restrooms, and changing facilities corresponding to their sex. And all students will have access to single-user facilities without regard to sex. Both law and history have long recognized the importance of sex separation when disrobing or attending to personal hygiene precisely because of the difference in anatomy between these sexes that are exposed in such settings. In addition to protecting bodily privacy and avoiding the creation of sexually harassing environments, sex-separated facilities provide reasonable separation between the sexes to prevent sexually inappropriate behavior between males and females, as well as false accusations of such behavior between students. The district is regulated by Pennsylvania law, which requires privacy facilities to be used separately by the sexes. See PA Statutes Title 24, 7-740. Its regulations explicitly envision separate locker rooms, showers, and restrooms on the basis of sex. See Title 34, Education, Part 106.33, Non-Discrimination on the Basis of Sex in Education Programs Receiving Federal Financial Assistance. Perkiomen policy, titled Use of Locker Room Facilities. The purpose of this policy is to respect the rights and privacy of all students and staff by instituting a clear and concise bathroom policy. Penridge policy, titled Use of Locker Room Facilities. There are privacy interests that arise from the physical differences between the sexes, which justify separate public restrooms, locker rooms, and shower facilities on the basis of sex. The purpose of this policy is to respect the rights of students and staff. While we appreciate the time and effort that was made by the board with the latest bathroom accommodation brought forth at last week's study session, we simply cannot settle for this accommodation as the final answer. So we ask you to reconsider again and be willing to stand up and actually write a policy that protects all of the students, because every child should have a place. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Sarah Grappel, Neil Blaine. I asked that my address be redacted in the public comments since threats have been made to me both at my home and my work. It's
No problem.
I appreciate that. I want to first commend you, board members, for the past 2 years of what you've done to improve our district, specifically around full-day kindergarten. I know I would have killed for that. And also,
Is there something, is this an agenda
yes,
item?
absolutely,
Which one?
the bathroom policy. I also want to thank the board for attending the Pennsylvania School Board Association meeting. And I know that you'll do the right thing to find a way to implement Governor Shapiro's universal free breakfast for all students and not just elementary students. Last week, my friend and teammates spoke about a real need for more proactive communication from this administration and this board around policy. I want to build on her comments. A little bit about me. I met my husband in the comments on MySpace. So I believe it's simultaneously the best and worst place on the internet. On the past 2 months, I've listened and witnessed and communicated with our community. And I've tried to kindly and firmly set the record straight about the actions of our community, not about their character, but folks who have their actions called out. It's upsetting, and I get it. Standing up for trans rights has gotten me called a loser, a child abuser, dangerous to be around children, Luna Lovegood, which I thought was very nice. I actually very much so like Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. And today, the jury from the Salem witch trials. A member from this community called my boss to threaten my employment. Today, a protest took place at the Penn-Delco about the Penn-Delco bathroom policy. Given my background in compliance, policy and implementation, and change management, I consulted the district policy handbook and I found no such policy. Unfortunately, this lack of clarity isn't surprising. It's another example of a non-issue gaining momentum due to misinformation and disinformation. Give me a minute, I'm going to get there. much like concerns raised by our community members regarding their concerns about the critical race theory 2 years ago. It seems like there's frequently hysteria, and it could be expelled. Penn-Delco's communication efforts have improved, and we are listening to the community by implementing policies. But it's really challenging to find the district's stance on evolving needs when you won't disclose them. I suggest that we actively address misinformation about these policies, even and especially in the comment sections, to set the record straight, or it's going to continue to happen. I've heard from a lot of people this week, and I've learned that many people fear their community backlash, and I get it, because I've been the target of a lot of it, and I volunteered to speak up, so I know that that's a choice. Our teachers are afraid, our students are afraid, and parents in our community are afraid on both sides. On both sides. The respectability politics required to survive in our school district and our community is exhausting. People fear safety in our bathroom. My own child was a victim of a cell phone in the bathroom.
3 minutes, I'm sorry. Get 3 minutes. Off board policy. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We have to let the next person speak. We have 2 minutes left in the first 15.
Jamie Host, I live at North Lee Lane, asking you. Communicate, even when it's uncomfortable or unnecessary. One of the best ways to heal is simply getting everything out. Today, as we are all aware, there was a protest at for the bathroom policy at Sun Valley. This was a student-led walkout with the support from parents and community members. This protest was meant to be peaceful and bring awareness to the topic we have all been speaking on, women's rights to a safe space in the bathroom and locker rooms. Unfortunately, many students were intimidated by administrators and staff. One student even messaged his mother, who was waiting outside for him, stating, "He has us blocked. He told me to get to class because I cause enough trouble here." Another text from another student where she stated, "At first I was really overthinking it because the teachers were blocking all the doors. It was scary." In another text to another parent, a child writes, "A teacher asked me where I was going, and I said to practice the First Amendment right. They literally had security everywhere and lined up trying to block us in." This isn't what students expected from their teachers and their educators. They wanted a peaceful protest to speak on behalf of multiple students who are very uncomfortable with the bathroom issues at school. None of these students were hateful or hurtful, but on the way out, one of those students was confronted by a peer who stole their poster and ripped it up into pieces. It's a shame that we have gotten to this place. None of this should be occurring. We all just want school to be a safe learning environment for our children. I am hopeful that after hearing what you all have to say and seeing how these students and parents are feeling, the board will pass a policy that does protect all students.
So then we're done with the, there's another section for public comment at the end of the meeting. About 30 minutes, okay?
Thank you.
You'll be first. Number 10, items for board action, starts on page 2, carries through page 3, 4, 5, and ends on page 6. References the Penn-Delco budget 2023 through 2024, Act 93 plans, the PDEA agreement, the PDESPA agreement, the PDSSPA agreement, the PA School Code Section 1108B. It is administrative recommendation to approve all personnel items as presented.
So moved.
Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Tonight, the board will exercise a consent agenda for 10.03 through 10.14. If any board member wish to remove an agenda item to vote on separately. With that, I need a motion for 10.03 through 10.14. Please note all contracts and preparation of the solicitation of bids are subject to review and approval of the solicitor. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Number 11 is, once again, comments by members of the public. We'll go 3 minutes for half.
Hello, my name is Bree Ackerman. I'm with Ashton. I'm a student at sorry.
I'm sorry.
I didn't do that. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Bree Ackerman, yeah, anyway. I'm a student at Sun Valley High School, and I want to say with the situation that's been going on in school, I feel unsafe, especially with the protests and the violence that have occurred today. At school, we're told that it's a safe place, where frankly, I don't, and I'm sure many other students don't feel safe. Everyone has the right to express their First Amendment right. You very much do. But at the end of the day, these are kids, they're children. We're not supposed to be fearing our lives going to school. I've always been a target with being African American and also my size. I especially know how situations like being bullied have badly affected my mental health. I am not trans, but Lord only knows what these kids are going through and what they're thinking in their head. A parent, I think what we need to do, honestly, as a district, is I think that we need to sit down and have a talk with these kids who are going through these transitions. I think that understanding each other is the most important thing that we need. I understand that you guys protested, and that's perfectly okay, but at the same time, these are children. These are kids that I go to school with. I don't want, God forbid, something to happen to them because they don't feel safe. You have every right to not be okay with who they are. You don't have to accept them. Nobody is asking you to do that. But just respect them.
Let her go. Miss,
Go ahead.
if you could, ma'am, if you could kindly, all comments are directed towards the board. Please, thank you.
But that's pretty much it.
First of all, I just want to say thank you, young lady. There is nothing wrong with your size nor anything about you, so don't you ever feel differently, okay?
Lori Ackerman of Aston. First thing I wanted to say was I think that the teachers that came last week need to be recognized because I felt that they were kind of met, from what I saw on video, with a little bit of disrespect. And coming here in this kind of situation to talk about their students and who they support took courage. And I really feel that Ms. Willow and the other teacher, that I didn't catch her name, should be recognized for that. Secondly, I think the other thing, as a 25-year career mental health therapist, I really think we have to look at the students that are on the other end here. As parents, as the district, we are the proverbial village. We are raising all of our children. We all want to be safe. And if I had a transgender child, I wouldn't want them to go into the girls' or the boys' room for their safety. So my concern is having protests, having all of this, almost seeing the village standing there with torches. What is that doing to these kids, and what is it doing to their psyche and their mental health? Excuse me. What is that doing to their psyche, and what is that doing to their mental health? We have been with these kids since they were 5, and they've grown up. We've watched them grow up. We've cheered. We've supported them. We've taken them to the bathroom and field trips. We have to come together peacefully as a district and support all the children and figure out what needs to happen. There are things that can happen, but we can't add, bathrooms to every classroom tomorrow. But we have to figure out a little bit at a time what we can do, and I think the school board did great. And yes, there are litigation, and you guys handled it very well, and thank you for that.
Hello everyone, back again, Sarah Capel, redacted address. So I want to again talk about commend Penn-Delco's communication efforts as of late. I think that they have improved, but obviously there's still some needs to improve for evolving societal needs at the rapid pace of the comment section. I suggest that we actively address this information, even in the comment section, if not especially, to set the record straight. I've heard from a lot of people this week. I've learned that many people fear rash actions from misinformed and angry individuals. Teachers, students, and parents are afraid to speak up because of backlash like this. Respectability politics required to survive in our community is exhausting. There's a group of folks on both sides who fear the safety of their children in bathrooms and locker rooms. But misinformation is running rampant, and it is being weaponized against children. This is putting undue burden and focus on these communities who have incredibly high suicide rates. A possible solution is that there needs to be more parent and student engagement led by this administration and participation of all of the board of director members. Feedback must be regularly requested, analyzed, and tracked publicly and clearly. We have strong schools, great teachers, great students, and very passionate parents. But right now, those parents don't know how to get stuff done in our district. But they are trying to do what they think is right, even if it's harmful to small communities. We've got to come together. I don't think suicide rates are funny, and it's embarrassing that you do. Please be more proactive, and for goodness sakes, set the record straight.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kyle Andrioli Brown, Penn-Coast Avenue. Some of you may know me. I am for the right to privacy. Just want to get that off the bat. I'm a graduate of Sun Valley High School, resident of Aston. I am the son of a homosexual couple. I fought very hard my entire high school career to make sure that they could get married one day. This isn't about that. I'm also a USMC veteran. I spent my entire career I spent a majority of my livelihood making sure that rights are respected and that they aren't stepped on. However, I also understand the difference between rights and leisures. I have the Second Amendment right until someone's security is out of place. I have the First Amendment right until somebody feels unsecure. I don't feel as though the 1% of a population should have their right to comfort overstep everybody else's right, the majority's right to privacy and security. There has been numerous examples of high schools and school districts that are having issues with stuff like this as far as assault is concerned. I do not believe that, like I said, the right of comfort should ever trump the right of security for ladies in the bathroom. I also understand the school district is afraid of, or potentially afraid of, legal ramifications as far as discrimination, but I think that there's an equal argument about being worried about discrimination suits against the right of security and privacy of women in the bathroom. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jim Salvi, 2130 Springhouse Lane, Aston, Pennsylvania, 19014. I imagine everybody up there is a college graduate, correct? President. College graduate, some of you have master's degrees, some doctorate degrees. Me, I'm an electrician. I went to technical school for 4 years. I got all my fingers, I got my eyebrows. It means I got common sense, okay? Might have a little more common sense than some of you up there. That's not putting you down, okay? But sometimes we think too high and we don't feel enough. Now, what we saw out there today, I came and supported my grandson for his First Amendment right to show him how government works. And what I saw was something that had been announced a week ago that was planned and it was put off and it was back on, off. Some kids were kept inside the school, the doors were closed, the cops didn't know whether the children were allowed to come back in. I actually took my grandson, I wasn't going to give him a free day off. This wasn't Ferris Bueller's day off just because he'd get out there and with a sign, okay? He was going back to school. And I asked the cop, I said, look, I'm taking him inside. If you want to put the cuffs on me right now, you go ahead, brother. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. Talk to the principal, they're going inside. What I'm saying to you is, this is your problem. Fix it, okay? You have all these people here on different sides at each other's throat, when you got to sit down and get some people from one side and the other side and have a serious conversation and think about the logistics and the money and what we have to do to make all our students safe, because every student, every person in this room has their constitutional rights.
Any comments by members of the board? With that,
Ryan Devine, out of Brookline, Brookhaven. I just came up here to really condone the students for standing up for their First Amendment rights. I don't know exactly what happened today, who was locked in or anything like that. And I have come up here on this podium, a little hot-headed, sling podium, maybe yell at you guys, you know, and that's not me. I should come up here a little calmer. But what happened when I did reach out, or when I did scream out, is people were reaching out to me. I'm not trying to say I'm a martyr or anything like that. People were reaching out to me saying, thank you for speaking up for me. Don't know who they are. They just were a friend of a sister or something like that. So the whole thing is, like the gentleman said over there, can we just come to a compromise? Like, can we just stop our kids being a social experiment? That's all. That's all it is. It's not that hard. We want to be in here celebrating that Penn-Delco was the first to do something or expand or the, you know, great technology or something for the students. Not what bathroom they choose. Let's be real. Thank you.
all right. Future meetings are Wednesday, November 15th. Study session here at the Service Center, and Monday, November 20th. Please note the change of the next actual business meeting is Monday, given the fact that it is Thanksgiving. Motion for adjournment?
Mr. President, as I mentioned last evening, I'm the attorney for the board. If people wanted to hang around and talk about some things, I'm free to do that.
Motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Check.